Thousands. Better than 1,000 meaningless statements is one meaningful word, which, having been heard, brings peace. Better than 1,000 meaningless verses is one meaningful line of verse, which, having been heard, brings peace. Better than reciting 100 meaningless verses is one line of Dharma, which, having been heard, brings peace. Greater in combat than a person who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 people is the person who conquers herself. Certainly, it is better to conquer oneself than others, for someone who is self-restrained and always lives with mastery, neither a god, a gandhabba, nor Mara and Brahma together could turn conquest into defeat. Better than 1,000 ritual sacrifices offered every month for 100 years is one moment's homage offered to one who has cultivated herself. Better than 100 years in the forest tending a ritual fire is one moment's homage offered to one who has cultivated himself. Whatever sacrifice or offering a merit seeker might perform in an entire year is not worth 1/4 as much as expressing respect to those who are upright. For the person who shows respect and always reveres worthy people, 4 things increase: lifespan, beauty, happiness, and strength. Better than 100 years lived with an unsettled mind, devoid of virtue, is one day lived virtuous and absorbed in meditation. Better than 100 years lived with an unsettled mind, devoid of insight, is one day lived with insight and absorbed in meditation. Better than 100 years lived lazily and lacking in effort is one day lived with vigor and exertion. Better than 100 years lived without seeing the arising and passing of things is one day lived seeing their arising and passing. Better than 100 years lived without seeing the deathless is one day lived seeing the deathless. Better than 100 years lived without seeing the ultimate Dharma is one day lived seeing the ultimate Dharma.